Did you know that in Pokopia, if you spin Ditto around really fast, it will pull this face? Which is absolutely terrifying. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Easter Eggs and Hidden Details, the series where I share some of the latest and not so latest Easter eggs and hidden details found in video games, with the only rule being they cannot have been featured on this channel before. As always, if you want to support the channel and get something actually decent in return, then be sure to check out GamerSupps using the QR code on screen or the link in the description. And without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with a game that some of you might have forgotten. You see, Atomic Heart released in 2023, and it was a solid game, with some very memorable fembots. Well, fast forward to 2026, and the game's final DLC, Blood on Crystal, has just been released, and it brings with it a couple of cool Easter eggs. Oh, and of course, more memorable fembots.
I'll go up top, you go down!
Nice.
Now, the first Blood on Crystal Easter egg actually references one of cinema's most controversial scenes. When trying your best to not get wet, you can find this. So these two robots are clearly fans of Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, as they are referencing the famous door scene from the 1997 movie Titanic. People still argue to this day whether Leo could have managed to get on the door with Kate, but the Kate Winslet robot in Atomic Heart seems less concerned with Robo-Leo's safety and more concerned with striking a pose. Up next, when exploring the residential sector, you can find this toilet that is protected by this stupidly large lock. Well, if you enter the code that I do, which is just a simple X, you can find this.
It's a me, Majorio.
Oh, really? You're better than this, Major.
What a cute little beast. I think I remember you. Who's a pretty little fluff ball?
So this isn't something you see every day. Now, I never completed Atomic Heart, so I'm not sure if this little guy appeared in the base game, but given your character's dialogue, it seems like it. Anyway, in the same room, you can find a whole bunch of skeletons stuck in random positions, but given the appearance of our furry friend here, these skeletons don't seem that weird. Oh, and I wanted to share some of the death screens found in-game, because some of them are really cool. You see, when you die in Atomic Heart, a cool animation will play showing your death in a cartoon fashion. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I am getting serious Fallout vibes from these animations, but that might just be me. Anyway, like I said, some of these are really cool, so here are a couple of my favourites.
Get to land before you get eaten alive!
So, in a recent video, I shared how waiting at the costume select screen in the Eggcellent Pragmata would cause Hugh and Diana to have a dance-off. Well, it turns out that's not the only idle animation in the game. And in fact, this next idle animation can be found before you even start the game. You see, if you wait at the title screen for 5 minutes, this will happen. Okay, granted, it's not as cute as Hugh and Diana's audition for the Next Step Up movie, but it is still pretty cool. Now, when I made my Mouse PI for Hire Easter Eggs and Details video, I shared that you could enter a couple of different codes at this door to trigger different Easter eggs, including entering 0316 to reference Stone Cold Steve Austin. And no, I'm not joking. Well, it turns out that I vastly underestimated just how many different codes work on this door. So, starting off with the very simple 1234, which will give you some extra cash, and that's about it. Next up is 2137, which also gives you some extra cash, just in a nicer setting. Entering 3125 will cause this to happen. So it's a creepy voodoo priest, and of course some extra cash, and if you enter 1920, this will happen. So 1920 will see you teleported to Jack's office, which has a surprising lack of extra cash. And finally, if you enter 1224, this will happen.
Now that's creepy.
So this room is probably the strangest room of all. Here we can find a table covered in blood, and this weird square thing that's trying its best to blend in. I mean, I'm getting serious SpongeBob vibes here, but that's probably just me. That's not all though. If you turn around, this creepy ink figure will appear in the corner, which is not only creepy, but also potentially Bendy and the ink machine related. Though probably not. I don't know about you, but I find this Easter egg really cool. Having loads of different codes lead to loads of different rooms is a pretty clever Easter egg. Now, if you know me, you know that I love simulator style games. Perhaps it's my certain brand of tism, but I just find the repetitive nature of those games really enjoyable. With that in mind, you might think that I would love Hellmart, but I don't think I do. I mean, there is more to Hellmart than just stocking shelves and serving customers, as when night comes you have to deal with anomalies and the long limbs of a monster that wants to make you its new friend. Don't get me wrong, it's not a terrible game, but it feels confused, like it doesn't know what it wants to be, which leaves it being neither a good simulator game or a good horror game. Anyway, you're not here for my spicy takes. You're here for Easter eggs, and Hellmart does have a couple of cool references to find. First up, outside of the store, you can find loads of different missing posters, and all of the faces on these posters are popular streamers or YouTubers. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I recognise all of these faces, but the ones that I do know are Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and Corey Kenshin. Next up, in your cosy little bedroom, you can find a typewriter that has been used to repeatedly type the words "all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." Okay, so the spelling isn't the greatest, but this is a reference to The Shining. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm just happy to find a Shining reference that wasn't that famous carpet. The final Hellmart Easter egg is by far the coolest in the entire game. And to be honest, it's the only reason I bought it to begin with. On very rare occasions, an intimidating customer will make a strange request.
Grimlu Favik Banu Dishin. Yermu Haldexiv. Merni Plavlek Krota Helsivan. Sarnu Matrach. Amber Kala Drissa. Sarnu Matrach. Dorganimes, Elder Noshitran. Detra Viskolern. Amber Kala Drissa. Grimlu Favik Banu Dishin. Yermu Haldexiv. Yermu Haldexiv. Grimlu Favik Banu Dishin.
So this customer is a reference to Anton Chigurh, the terrifying contract killer seen in the excellent 2007 movie No Country for Old Men.
Call it.
Call it, yes. For what?
Just call it.
Now, my lack of gaming friends makes playing games like Helldivers 2 not as enjoyable as it could be, but every now and again I do like to relieve my frustrations on some alien bugs. I mean, I can go months without playing the game, so being able to replay the tutorial is kind of helpful, and it's here in the tutorial that I found something really funny. Well, it's funny to me anyway. You see, at the start of the tutorial, you can find a billboard that says "See you on the other side," which of course means that they'll see you at the end of the tutorial. It's meant to motivate potential divers into giving their all. But if you take the poster literally, and I do mean very, very literally, and look behind the billboard, you can find this. So the billboard wasn't lying. They will literally see you on the other side. It's a dad joke, but I love dad jokes, so sue me. Something else that I noticed in Helldivers 2 is actually really cool. One of the emotes that you can use to flex on the bugs is a push-up, and performing this emote does a standard push-up. Well, if you equip the Viper Commando outfit and perform the exact same emote, this will happen. So, because you're now dressed in a badass commando outfit, the regular push-up emote is transformed into a badass one-armed push-up emote. I don't know if other cosmetics in Helldivers 2 interact with emotes like this, so if you know, let me know. Oh, and I wasn't joking, by the way. If you want to add me on Steam to help with Easter eggs or just play with me when I'm recording multiplayer stuff, my username should be on screen now. So I never got around to playing Subnautica 1 or its spin-off Below Zero. I mean, they were always on my to-do list. No, literally, I have a to-do list of games that I need to play for Easter eggs, but for one reason or another, I never played them. Well, with the early access release of Subnautica 2, and with it being on Game Pass, I really had no excuse not to dip my toes into Subnautica 2. And yes, that pun was intentional. Now, I'm very much learning the ropes as I go, but thankfully Subnautica 2 does have a creative mode, which allows you to explore the game at your own leisure, and it's in this mode where I found some pretty cool Easter eggs. First up, if you swim towards the Welcome Centre and then take a slight left, you can find an entrance to a cave, and if you keep on swimming down, you'll find this. So this unlucky chap isn't just any old unlucky chap. This is in fact a reference to Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back and the time that Luke Skywalker found himself hanging upside down in a Wampa cave. In the movie, Luke was reaching for his lightsaber, but of course there are no lightsabers in Subnautica 2, so instead the guy in-game is reaching for his habitat builder, though I'm not sure it will do him much good. Next up, if you head towards this coral formation behind your pod and then swim directly down, you'll eventually reach the tutorial area. If you then swim through the blue lights and hug the wall until you reach 754 meters, you will find this. Now, I have no idea if our frowny friend here is a reference to the first game or a stand-in for something to come that's much scarier. But what I do know is, it doesn't look very happy. Oh, and speaking of stand-ins, seeing as Subnautica 2 is in early access, there are certain parts of the game world where you can't build, but you are able to swim. Well, if you continue heading out of bounds in a southeasterly direction, you can find this. So it's a lonely clam with some very distinctive eyes. Again, this might be a placeholder for something else when the game is released, or it might just be a clam that spent the night sniffing. Well, let's just leave that there. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then a like is appreciated. If you're a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then make sure you're subscribed and turn notifications on so you never miss a video. Be sure to scan the QR code on screen now to get your gamer subs, even if you don't want to pay for them. And to be clear, if you do, I get a small kickback, but even if you don't want to pay, grab yourself some free samples on me. Anyway, as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.